Namaste and good morning, everyone. Let's start our Thursday class with some prayers. Om Guru Brahma, Guru Vishnu, Guru Devo Maheshwara, Guru Sakshat Parbrahma, Tasmai Shri Guruve Namah. Om Bhuvasvaha Tatsavitra Varenayam, Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi, Diyo Yo Naha Prachodayat. Asto ma satgamya, tamso ma jyotirgamya, mrityorma amritam gamya. Om sehna vavtu sehna bhunaktu saviryam karvavahi. Tejasvi navaditamastu ma vidvishavahi. Om shanti shanti shanti. Om. Okay, we're going to start chapter 2 of this Shvetashvarta Upanishad. And I was telling you last time that the mantra, or all the mantras in this chapter, are a little different in style. Okay. And they can be interpreted in different ways also. So we'll see the first 6 mantras, they appear in the ritual section of the Vedas, the Karam Kanda. So the meaning can be drawn as a ritualist from a ritualistic angle. Okay. And we saw the first chapter ended with the thought that God is hidden in our heart and has to be realized through meditation. Dhyan nirmatnaha abhyasat devam pashet nigud vat. So meditation is the highest vocation in life. In fact, this is the only karam which we do, which is individualistic karma. All other karmas are group karmas. So meditation can be so powerful. So that's why in meditation, we got to be extraordinarily alert. We got to learn how to concentrate, whether we use the help of our breath or the energy centers or the mantra. Those are only techniques to learn how to concentrate, how to be alert, how to be strong, and how to make our mind in our control. That's why we meditate. We need to make our mind meditation worthy. Only then we can reach the highest goal. Because we need this mind. Prayer is also a very powerful means to do so. But again, prayer also should be done with the mind fully focused on the prayer. So that's why the prayer also becomes a form of meditation. Because when we are meditating, we think that we are doing it in prayer, so we are using God's help. Because human efforts are limited, God is infinite. Prayer invokes the infinite power of God and manifests a grace in all we do. So we feel that we are not alone. We have that higher partner with us. But in order to draw onto that grace, we got to definitely make a self-effort. So that's why this meditation is a self-effort, to prepare yourself to draw that grace. Okay, so self-effort manifests grace, and grace strengthens self-effort. So that's why meditation and prayers, they both are complementary to each other. So following 3 mantras, or the first 3 mantras of this chapter, they both are prayers as well as grace. So there's a prayer for grace and a promise of self-effort in these 3 mantras. And we are going to go through these three mantras first, and then I'll explain it to you. So let's look at verse number 1 of chapter number 2. Yunchanaha prathamam manaha tattvaya savitadiya agne jyoti nichasche prithvi vya adhi abharat. Yunchanaha, while engaging. Prathamam, first. Manaha, the mind. Tattvaya, to seek knowledge. Savitaha, sun god. Dhiya, dhiya means the buddhi. Okay. Agne, of fire. Jyoti, the light. Nichaya, having seen. Prithivya, upon the earth. Adhi, upon the earth. Abharat, place it. May the sun god first engage my mind and my intellect to seek knowledge. And having seen the light of first, place it upon the earth. Yukten manasaha vayam devasya savituhu savehe suvargyaye shatyaha. Yukten, with that which has been fixed. Yukta, manasa, with the mind. Vayam, we. Devasya, of God. Savituhu, of sun. Save, with the blessings. Suvargyaye, for the highest. Shatya, to the best of ability. With the mind fixed on the Supreme Self, with the blessings of the Sun God, we shall strive to the best of our ability for the highest. See how I was telling you that grace as well as self-effort. We cannot just say, God, you do everything. And we cannot even say that, no, I'm going to do everything by myself. It's a combination of both. Yuktavaye manasaha devan suvartayataha dhiya divam brihat jyoti krishyataha savita prusvati tan. Yuktavaye, having united manasa, with the mind, devan, the sense organs. Suvaryataha, turn toward the blissful truth. Dhiya, the right knowledge. Divam, effulgence. Brihad, the great. Jyoti, light. Krishyata, lead towards. Savita, the sun god. Prasuvati, bless. Tan means them. May the sun god bless my mind and sense organs, which are turned towards the blissful truth. And what is this blissful truth? Brahma. And lead them through right knowledge towards the effulgence of the great light of consciousness. That is the Atma. First, let's understand this sun god, Savitaha. Every object has a gross, subtle, and spiritual aspect. Adhibhautik, Adhidevik, and Adhyatmik in Sanskrit. So gross, subtle, and spiritual aspect. For example, when someone is introduced casually to us, we see the person's body. How tall, what the color is, what the gender is. So that means the gross physical aspects of the person. Then we'll ask after the appearance what the name is. And if that person is coming for some employment, we need to know his or her qualifications, skills, attitude, conduct, etc. That's a subtle. Because we cannot see that with our senses, but we need to know what kind of a qualification that person has. Can that person do the job which we want that person to do? So first is the physical, the second is the subtle. And if that person is going to a guru, the spiritual master, the guru will see that person as the truth, the Atma. That is Adhyatmik. So we are all made up of all these three. The physical, the subtle, and then the essence, which is spiritual. God is one, though called by different names. Ekam Sat Vipra Bahuda Vadanti. Over here, this prayer is addressed to Savitaha, the sun god. Savita. So sun also has three aspects. See, just like any human body has three aspects, sun has three aspects. Sun we perceive is adhibhautik. We say sun is that far from us, that color, that big, source of all energy and life on earth. So that's how we perceive sun as the presiding deity, Adhidevik, of light, and hence of our eyes and all we see. Ultimately, the sun stands for the supreme consciousness, the very core of our existence, Adhyatmik. That's when Lord Krishna said, I am in the sun also. That is Adhyatmik. So this prayer is addressed to all the three aspects of the sun, Adhibhautik, Adhidevik, and Adhyatmik. O sun god, do bless my mind with the right understanding of meditation. May conducive thoughts create a meditative mood. May my mind not get distracted and remain focused within. So we are praying to Sun God. The word Dhiya, that means the Buddhi, the intellect. But Buddhi is, where is the Buddhi getting the information? From the sense perceptions. So 5 physiological functions, the mind and intellect, we are praying to God that may all of these be vitalized and geared towards meditation. That's why when we meditate, what do? We close our eyes. We focus on the breath. We tell our mind to concentrate on this particular light inside. All of that, not just one alone. It's not the body which is meditating. It is through the mind, with the help of a full control over the senses. If our senses are not in our control, mind cannot meditate. So first we have to sit still, relax the body, steady the breathing, withdraw the senses, quieten the mind, and then focus the intellect on the truth within. That's all we do in meditation. That's why I often tell you that it's the easiest thing to do. Because we don't need anything outside of ourselves. We are not dependent upon anything else. Everything is given to us. We got to learn how to use it properly. But then we are praying to God that do bless my efforts so that I realize the truth. Meditation is not just something we just brag about that I meditate every day. Meditation is so that you can realize who you are. Just like we don't cook the food and then just put a picture on the Facebook. We cook the food so that we eat and get nourished. The same thing with the meditation. The Vedas say that every function is presided over by a presiding Devata, presiding deity. For example, the sense organs of perception and action get their ability and energy from the respective presiding deity. The eyes can see only in the medium of light. And the sun god is providing deity of light. And the eyes, we pray to the respective presiding deities of light and the eyes. That's what I was telling you yesterday. We got to learn how to live with the harmony. Harmony has to be inside our body also, in our families also, in the society also, in the whole universe also. That's why our rishis, they called all these elemental forces as devatas, deities. Generally, our senses are extrovert. That means they are directed towards the material world. Eyes love to see the beautiful scenes. The tongue loves to taste all kinds of delicious food. So all the senses, they just love to run outward. But we are praying to Sun God and the presiding deities to help us withdraw from the external and turn inward. That's what we are doing here. Few minutes a day, we got to just have a good control over our senses. With a mind blessed like that and empowered, yuktena manasa, very powerful word this rishi is using. We promise to put forth the maximum effort to the best of our ability, shaktiya. So we got to put in effort. At the same time, we are praying to God, please bless me also. I will do the best I can, but without your blessings, I cannot do it. It's a combination of both. My own Guruji used to say the whole life is a combination of karam and kripa. Karam we do, kripa God and the Guru gives. We got to always remember that. We shall strive with a firm resolve to realize the truth. Yat atma drid nishchaya. This firm resolve has to be there. So the truth is here referred to as swarg. Swarg. Swarg means there where one experiences bliss. Swar sukham gachati iti swarga. So over here, the swarg word is just used, not a heavenly abode. It's that place where there's only bliss. Because the truth or the God alone is the source of bliss. So that's why Swarag here means the highest bliss of the self. And another word over here, Brihad Jyoti. God is called Brihad Jyoti, the great light, because there are lots of lights. There's a candle light, bulb light, tube light, there are all kinds of lights. But the great light, as it is, because of consciousness, we are able to see all physical lights. That's why it's a Brihad Jyoti. Without that light of the Atma, these eyes cannot see, no matter how beautiful the light is outside. We are able to see all physical lights, know our senses, organs, and the subtle thoughts and ideas of our mind because of this Brihad Jyoti. That's why it's said it's the light of the lights by the rishis. Because senses are all by nature extrovert. So the third mantra is a prayer to the sun god to protect us and bless us as we struggle in the seat of meditation and lead us to the light of all lights. And knowing that the compassionate Lord is always with us, we can practice without fear and anxiety. We have to let go of the anxiety. We have to have a firm faith. More faith, less fear. More faith, less anxiety. So if we think that there's a fear or anxiety in us, enhance your faith. That means there is some leak in that faith over there. Strengthen the faith. So the Lord Krishna in Bhagavad Gita also, you have all studied that, chapter 9, verse number 22. Ananye chintyanto mam ye jana pariupasate tesham nityabhiyukta nam yoga kshemam vahamyaham. So if we increase the heat of our faith and the love for God, he says, I will bring it to you, vahamyam. Not dadamyam, vahamyam. I'll bring it with my own hands. I'll give it to you. I'll be the carrier of it. So I take care of the needs of those who with an unswerving mind. See, ananya chintyanto, unswerving mind, meditate on me. So we got to look at it. Where do we stand? Are we putting enough effort? Do we have full faith? Are we doing our sadhana? Or are we just looking for the result all the time? Others have it, I don't have it. We got to do our part. Okay, so this is what these three beautiful mantras are telling us, that God is with us. Presence of God will be felt more and more if we do our share. The effort, self-effort is very important. Self-effort. And acknowledging the blessings of God, the next mantra urges the seekers to sing his praises. Verse number 4. Yunjate manaha ut yunjate dhiya vipraha viprasya brihda vipaschitaha vihotraha dadhe vyunavit ekaha itmehi devasya savitu parishutiti. Yunjate, yoga. Yoga means unite. Manaha, mind, ut, and yunjate, yoga, dhiya, the intellect. Vipraha, seekers of truth. Viprasya, who is all pervading. Brihat, great. Vipaschitaha, omniscient. Vihotraha Dadhe has given the rites and rituals. Vihotra Dadhe. View now with the knower of Maya. Ekaha one, it means thus, Mahi, mighty. Devasya of God, Savituhu of son, Parishtuti, praise. Those who try to yoke their mind and intellect to the blissful self, the Atma or Paramatma, should thus sing mighty praises of the Son God, who is all-pervading, great, omniscient, the knower of Maya, and non-dual, and has given the rites and the rituals. That means the yajnas. So the mantra, this mantra is addressed to Vipras and the Brahmans. What is the difference between Vipra and a Brahman? Vipra are those who study the Vedas, and Brahmans are those who know the truth. So here the word refers to all spiritual aspirants who meditate on God by quietening their senses and the mind and the intellect, and they're absorbing their minds in the truth. Yunjate mana. So after controlling, what do you do after controlling? You just connect it with that highest. So control your senses, absorb your mind and intellect into the art. That's what we do during meditation. So the seekers who are trying to meditate should sing the praises of the Lord, because God does listen to the prayers. He is always ready to bless us, because He wants to strengthen our resolve. Even a worldly person, when you do a favor to that person, will thank you. Or if somebody does a good thing for us, right away we thank that person. That's how it works. That is the law. Should we not thank the Lord who has blessed us to so much? Can we even thank Him enough for all these devatas which He has given to us? To be able to see, to be able to hear, to be able to smell, to be able to walk, breathe, think, analyze, enjoy. Do we thank Him enough? We got to look within. So the Lord has infinite and everlasting attributes in infinite measure. That is Brihad. Any praise of Him is but less than what He is. That means we cannot praise Him enough. He is indeed all-pervading, great, and the greatest, omniscient, and the knower of Maya. Because He is the one who created the Maya. Anybody who creates something will know it. So a hymn to the great Lord is indeed great. Our intellect focuses on what it values and respects. Because through buddhi, we discriminate and we analyze and we decide whether it's valuable or not, intellect. And mind focuses on what we love. The more we know the greatness of God, the more we respect and love Him. That's why it's good to study the scriptures, good to know about God, good to go to the teachers who can tell us about God because they have seen God. They have experienced God. We have not experienced it yet, but they have. So it's good to listen to the great Guru's words. But then after that, we got to do what we need, what Guru asks us to do too. The more our intellect and mind remains fixed on Him, the more we will know Him too. So remembering His glories is therefore an aid to meditation. And besides being an expression of our gratitude. So next mantra number 5, is a prayer addressed to the senses and their presiding deities. Yujevam brahmpurvyam namobhi shalokaha vietu pathi ev sure shrinvantu vishve amritasya putraha ye dhamani divyani tastu. Yuje, absorb. Vam, to you both, the senses, the presiding deities. So Vam, to you both. Brahm is the truth, Purvayam, ancient. Namo bhi, with many salutations. Shlokaha, hymns. Vietuhu, spread everywhere. Pathi, in the path. Ev means verily. Surehe, of the seers. Shrinvantu, listen. Vishve, all. Amritasya, of immortality. Putraha, children. Ye means who. Dhamani, abodes, like a dham. Divyani, celestial. Atastuhu, occupy. O senses, and the presiding deities of the senses. With many salutations, we absorb our mind in that ancient truth, which is Brahma. May this hymn of praise, Stuti, verily spread everywhere in the path of the seers. Listen, O children of immortality, who occupy the celestial abodes. Prayers, the mind and senses and their presiding deities play an important role in meditation. We are all familiar with that. Because we know when they are well controlled, they unite easily with God. Well controlled. Eyes, which the minute you close, they go inward. Ears, that power goes inside. So well controlled senses are very powerful. So we pray to them with humility to unite us with God, because they're so powerful. They are devtas, and we are saying, please stay united with God so that we can realize the truth, which is ancient and eternal. Purvam. In meditation, we will withdraw our attention from the body and the worldly objects. The senses and the mind and the presiding deities, due to which they function, are to be united with God. This merging is called meditation. So that's why, again, I would say this is the simplest thing to do. Simplest thing. So there's a prostration also in this verse. We are asked to prostrate for union with God. Because prostration conveys the recognition of our limitation. When we prostrate, we are acknowledging the glory of the higher force. So prostration is like a surrender. We are saying, God, I cannot do it myself. You help me. So it is the surrender to the higher power with humility. Not with arrogance that I'm prostrating. The humility has to be there. We all know that the bamboo, which is flexible, bends low and can weather the biggest storms. And on the other hand, we see that large and thick oak trees, just a little wind, they get uprooted. There's no flexibility in them. Bamboo tree can go all the way down and still come up again because there's a flexibility. So when we prostrate, we are showing our flexibility. Not a physical flexibility alone, but our mind can bend, surrender. Bending before a higher power with a humble attitude keeps us steady during our own storms. And what are the storms we go through? Storms of our desires and disturbances, or ups and downs in our life. This helps us. So may the fame of this hymn and knowledge and the glory of one who has realized this knowledge spread far and wide. That is also we are saying in this one. Especially among the noble people. Because the noble people will understand the depth of these prayers. They'll get inspired also, and they will also follow this path. So that means noble means some sattvic attitude has to be there in a person's mind. A person who is extremely rajasic or even tamasic, they don't know. They cannot understand the beauty of this or subtlety of these verses. And then there's an ancient call here that in the next line, very famous ancient line is Shridvantu Vishve Amritasya Putraha. Listen, O children of immortality. So it is addressed to the presiding deities who are the sons of immortal creator. Okay. So it's like a power to see, power to hear, power to smell, power to touch, power to taste. These are the sons of immortal creator, Brahma, who resides in heaven. May the glory of God sung by the seekers spread even to the heavenly abodes. It also means that, O celestial beings, the glory, the eminence, and the bliss enjoyed by one who realizes the truth is ever greater than that enjoyed by you. There are two words, Brahmanand and Swarganand. Which one is greater? Brahmanand is greater than the Swarganand. Remember, we are not born of sin according to the Vedic seers, but indeed from the immortal truth. That's why immortality is our birthright. And what happens when our mind is engrossed in rituals and when it is kept engaged in God is explained in the next mantra. Agni yatra abhimathyate, vayu yatra abhirudhyate, somaha yatra atirichyate, tatra sanjayate manaha. Beautiful verse. Agni, the fire. Yatra means where. Abhimathyate, churned. Vayu, the wind. Yatra, where. Adhirudhyate, controlled. Somaha, the som juice. Yatra means where. Atirichyate, flows excessively. Tatra means there. Sanjayate, gets engrossed. Manaha, the mind. Where the fire is churned, the wind is controlled. Where the som juice flow excessively, there the mind gets engrossed. When our mind is extrovert, we are engaged in the external activities. They could be worldly, or sometimes they could be rituals also, religious also. We do get material results, but these create more desires and activities and bind us. In this context, the churning of the fire refers to the performer of Vedic rituals. Where fire is kindled, offerings are made, these rituals involve the worship of wind god, singing the praise, and doing the pranayama also at the same time. Those are the rituals. After the rituals, what did they do? There was a partaken of somras. Somras. That is just like these days, what do we do? After doing any kind of a ritual, we distribute the prasad. Whether it's a halwa, or whether it's a fruit, or the nuts, or anything else which is very pure. So these rishis, they distributed somras. Somras. Where these rishis were, where these Vedic mantras were written, it was on the mountains. That's where the Arya Jati was. And there were a lot of fruit trees, a lot of almond trees. So this somras is the almond juice. So that's why in this mantra, the Rishi is saying where the som juice flows excessively. That means a lot of rituals are being done, and after the performance or the conclusion of the rituals, prasad is being distributed. So that these rituals, they are performed fully. This prepares the mind for the higher spiritual pursuits. How wrong we are, how ignorant we are when we think that som is something different, any kind of intoxicant. You think of a rishis, when you read verses like this, you think they'll be taking something which can alter their mind? We are foolish. We have become so ignorant that we don't even understand the significance of all this. So this rishi is saying, sure, do the rituals, distribute the prasad. After that, prepare your mind for your higher spiritual pursuits. For the spiritual seeker, churning of the fire is the practice of meditation. Breath control is a means to concentrate, purify, and control the mind. And extracting of som is actually internally also, you are reaping the reward of this, and your own kundalini is rising. You're going towards those higher and higher levels of meditation. That's why a spiritual seeker remains ever absorbed in such activities. These outer activities are very important too. For the body, we need the outer activities. We need to do the yajna. We need to do seva. We need to feed others. Then we purify ourselves and we can sit and meditate also, because we have done what we are supposed to do. So this mantra can also be understood as an instruction for a meditation. Because we are asked to absorb the mind there where speech ends. And fire is the deity of speech. The breath slows down and thoughts end, and in the experience of objectless bliss, that's where it gets absorbed. So in a nutshell, you can say that purpose of life is to realize the truth. If we do so, it is good. Otherwise, it is a great loss. One who realizes the truth and departs from this world is called a Brahman. That is a Brahman. You are not born as a Brahman, but you can leave this earth as a Brahman. Because you have done what you were supposed to do. Brahman means a realized one. So a person who has passed is a Brahman. But a person who leaves the body without realizing it is called a Kripan. Kripan means a pitiable person. So it's up to us. Do we want to leave this body as a Brahman or as a Kripan? Do we want to make enough effort to realize the truth or not? Choice is ours. So that's why it is indeed a loss of a great opportunity, an opportunity to gain the infinite. Only as a human being we can gain this, because we lose so much time in the pursuit of the finite. We got to spend some time, enough time, in the pursuit of the real. And having obtained the blessings of the deities, what then should be done by seekers on the spiritual path? We will start with the verse number 7 next week. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Visheshyate. Om Shanti 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 Om. Thank you very much for coming and listening.